Hey there, my dog training friends. It's Fern here, and I just wanted to say Happy New Year and to give you guys a little push for 2014. I really want this to be the best year that you've ever had as a dog trainer. So I wanted to give you a little advice, some things that you might want to think about trying out to really grow your business in this year. First thing I want you to think about is look over at the past year and say, okay, what have you done? And what did you do? What was the outcome? How, did you do good? Did you do not so good? And then, are you doing anything different? Do you have any plans this year to do some different things than you did last year? Because if you just do the same things you did last year, guess what? You're probably going to get about the same results. And you're just spinning your wheels and going nowhere. If you really want to, move your business ahead, you got to do some new things. You got to experiment. You got to learn new skills. You got to put yourself out there and try some new stuff. And it may not work out, and that's cool. You got to try. Don't be afraid of failure. But you have to do something different. Every year, I am doing something different. I'm striving. I'm trying something else out. I'm learning some new skills. I'm expanding in ways I didn't think I would, just to keep pushing forward, to keep growing and evolving. And the thing about business is if you do not evolve, you go extinct. So you need to keep up with the times. You need to make sure that you're utilizing technology specifically, because if you don't, you will be extinct and so will your business. And that's no good. We love dog training, so we want to do it and we want to help more people. So this is what I need you to do this year. I want you to do some new things and learn some new skills. The most important thing we're trying to do here is I want you to build yourself as an authority dog trainer in your area and beyond. And I don't want you to think small. Don't think just your area. I want you to think big. I want you to become an authority of dogs globally. That's the kind of mindset I want you to have. You're going to start small. In the back of your head, I want you to think we're trying to build you as an authority on dogs for the world. And once you have that mindset and you can start implementing little by little, step by step, you'll be amazed at what can happen. So how do you build your authority? How do you show that you are the go-to person for dogs? Well, what you need to do is you need to show people that you know your stuff. And mostly, you just have to put yourself out there. The more things you put out into the world, the more opportunities people have to find you. If you just have a website and business cards, that's not a lot of places that people can find you. The more opportunities you give someone to stumble across you, the more they get to know you, the more they start to like you, and then they trust you. And only after they know, like, and trust you will they give you money to help them with their dogs. So that takes a little time. So the more opportunities you put out there to do that, the easier this will be for you. So I'm going to give you a couple ways that you can build your authority. Number one is to write anything and put it out there. So I always start with the blog. Every website should have a blog. Number one, it keeps fresh content on your site, which is great for the search engines. Gives people stumbling upon your website something to do besides just look at your rates and then leave. And it helps develop a relationship. It helps them, oh wow, he just helped me right here with this blog post. Wow, I'm going to come back to him when I have the money next month to start some training. Otherwise, they're gone. They're off your site and they have no reason to check back in. And in the beginning, when you're blogging, it seems like no one's listening. And you're like, why am I even doing this? Even if you get like no shares on your little social media counters and no one's seeing it, still do it. Most people who look at it will do nothing. You'll never know about it. And then you'll find out later that they've actually been reading your stuff and valued it. And you never know who's going to stumble upon it. Last year, I was hired by a company and was paid to write for them, to write articles for them. And they gave me, it was a really substantial amount of money because they stumbled upon my blog. And they liked my writing, so they hired me. I wasn't sure anybody read my blog. If you look at my blog, I don't have tons of shares or I don't have tons of comments. Sometimes I don't know I think it's just me doing it. So try to get in a regular routine of just putting stuff out there, even if it seems like no one's looking at it. The other thing you can do if you want to take it up a notch is write a book. Now that may sound scary if you've never written even a blog post before, but it's actually not as scary as you might think. And it's actually easier than you might think. Writing a book was one of the best things I did for my business. And I wrote it not to become a bestseller, and I would recommend you have that same outlook. You're not looking to sell a million copies of the book. What you're doing is you're using it to build your authority. Someone stumbles upon, let's take an example. Say you're looking for someone to teach you guitar lessons, and you stumble upon two websites. One guy wrote a book on how to play the guitar. The other guy didn't. Which guy seems like he's more experienced and more qualified? Now, you haven't read the book. You don't know if it's just gibberish. But just the fact that you took the initiative and wrote the book, people will tend, it builds your authority. It shows you're an expert in your field. Not everyone can write a book. Even though anyone can write a book, not everyone does. So it separates you from everyone else and elevates you. So many times I say, you know what, hey, after my session, I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm going to send you a copy of my book electronically for free. And they're like, you wrote a book? Oh my God, I didn't know that. And all of a sudden they look at me differently when I'm the same guy that they just spent time with. But just because I wrote a book, it elevates me in authority because not everyone can do it. So here's the cool thing about writing a book. Nowadays, you don't have to do it traditionally, where you have to find a publisher, you write a manuscript, send a publisher. I did this, actually I wrote a novel a number of years ago, and I did it that route, and it sucked. And I ended up self-publishing, which is what I recommend. You don't have to do it because self-publishing is so easy and so somewhat affordable that you can do it, and you can have a great book that looks just as good as any published book and can be available in the same outlets that all those big companies are. You know, the barrier to entry to write a book is not zero. Anybody can do it. So there's a number of if you just Google self-publishing, you know, you'll find a bunch of them. And it'll probably cost, but as an investment, you know, it'll probably cost you about, you know, $1,000, $2,000. And so I did that with my book, and I chalked it up as an advertising expense, and it was well worth it. I just wanted something to give to my clients, and it really has boosted me in the eyes of the public because I wrote that book. Now, the good thing is now you don't even have to get a printed copy out. Now you can just publish to Kindle. The cool thing about publishing directly to Kindle, it costs no money, and it doesn't have to be long. Kindle books are often much shorter than regular printed books. You can easily have a 30 to 40 page Kindle book, and it'll be in Amazon, and you can offer it for less money so more people will buy it. And all it is to build your authority. So don't think of it as a money-making opportunity. Think of it as a way to build your business. So you can, you know, look into those different aspects. But writing a book, I'm writing one right now. I'm writing my third book. I'm going to start this week, and it's going to come out hopefully at the end of the, maybe come out by September. Not going to be a huge book. I was debating going just through Kindle, and I may, but I'm still, you know, I probably will self-publish it as well. But it's just going to increase my authority. Okay, so think about that. Think about writing. And the thing about writing, you may say, I'm not a writer. It doesn't matter. Write in your own voice and just write something. It could be a 200-word blog post. Even if you don't like it, just keep writing. Get in the habit of writing. You'll find that everything you do, you'll get a little bit better. Okay, so write something. That's a great way to build your authority. Next big thing is video. What I'm doing right now. Video is such an awesome tool specifically for 2014 because video is everything online. And, you know, you got to stop fighting technology. You know, it's here. And all your clients are utilizing it. So you better utilize it too, unless you want to go extinct. Video is an amazing way to build your authority. The great thing is anybody can have a YouTube channel for free. I'm shooting this with my iPhone. I don't have an expensive camera. iPhones shoot in full HD. You don't need any supplies. Now, I do have a big box light back there, but you don't need that. Natural light is fine. It's not going to cost you any extra money. And all you do is you make some videos and put them on your site. Just try to answer normal questions that your clients typically have. How to stop a dog from barking. How to teach sit. Just basic stuff, but just let them get to know you. Give them some reason to stick on your site. It's something else to share on social media, which goes hand in hand with all this stuff. And it builds your authority. Just being on a video, putting yourself in front of a video, and if you're a little squeamish about being in front of camera, I'm going to tell you bluntly, get over it. Because here's your business. Your business is about being in front of people. The more comfortable you are doing it, the better your job will be. The more effective you'll be able to communicate and do your job. So if you're not comfortable with it, good news. You can practice and no one knows about it. Shoot 100 videos and publish one. You know, and what I read once is every time you're going to do a video, just do it 3 times. Even if you think the first take was good, you'll see you get better at it each time. So it's very simple, and there's free editing software online for both Mac and PC. So it costs no money, and it's very simple to use. And I would keep these short. This video is going to be an eternity compared to most of my videos. I try to keep most videos between 2 and 5 minutes, because that's the attention span of most people online. So they're not long. You just want to get in, give them some value, and then get out. Tell them how to contact you and get out. That's all you need. Simple, in and out. So start doing some video, start creating a YouTube channel, experimenting with it, about what you want to do. And it could just be something simple, where you just talk about some stuff. When I first started, I used to have dog training tips of the week. And whatever sessions I happened to do that week, I would take a lesson out of those, and I would just shoot a 2-minute video about what someone can learn from a session that I did with somebody. So if I was working with someone with a dog with anxiety, I would say, okay, hey, this week I worked with a really cool corgi and he had some anxiety. And this is what we did to treat it. Now for you with your dog, if you have a dog that's a little bit anxious, this is some things that you can implement. Really quick, to the point, it's simple. But what you'll find is it elevates you in status because not everybody's doing it. I've showed up at a number of clients and said, hey, for my session, I'm like, they booked it with me on the phone. And I come in and they're smiling and they're like, wow, I feel like I have a celebrity here because I've watched all your videos. And I'm like, me? Just because I threw a couple videos up on my website on YouTube, all of a sudden it elevated me in status because I'm the guy they watched on TV. I'm the guy they watched on their computer, just with all the other celebrities. So it's going to elevate you in status. And that's going to give a higher perceived value, and it's going to help everything you do. So writing, video, those are the top two. The other thing I would throw in there is social media. Start getting active on social media, because that's where your clients are. I would definitely start with Facebook because that's the #1 platform out there, especially for most dog owners. They're going to be on Facebook. But whatever you're doing, I would just start with the one you like the most. But, something like Pinterest or LinkedIn might be a little bit tougher for your target market because it's a harder thing for clients to get to provide the kind of content that we need to show. Something with Twitter is not as visual. Facebook is great because you can embed videos and stuff, so I'm a big fan of Facebook. But you want to start being social because the more places you pop up, the more chances your clients have to get to know you. All right? So that's my homework for you for 2014 is build your authority. If you can do that, I think you're going to see you're going to become more successful. And make sure you're doing things differently than last year. You're doing more or you're learning new skills. And invest some money in yourself. You should spend about 10 to 20% of your revenue reinvested on education for yourself. And I do that every year. At the end of the year, I always start taking some courses to learn some new stuff. And that could either be with dog-related industries, related topics, or it could be with business side. Maybe it's about learning video or learning social media. But invest some money in yourself because that is the best investment. I don't buy lottery tickets. That's a gamble. I'll spend money on myself. I'll bet on myself. It's a much higher return on investment. Last thing I want to mention to you before we end this video is, I know, it's tough sometimes out there trying to just do everything to have your own business. It's tough being your own boss and having your own business and trying to scramble to do what you love and to make ends meet. And it's sometimes easy to get dejected, especially at this time of year when you're looking back at all the goals you had and maybe what you fell short on and maybe you're not as successful as you thought you would be at this point. So I just want to share a quick story with you. That a couple years ago, when I have twin girls, and they're 5 now, but when they were about 1.5, maybe 2 years old, so it was about three or so years ago, Financially, they were both born premature. They had a lot of issues, a lot of medical issues, a lot of expenses, and I couldn't work that much either because I was home with them. I'm a stay-at-home dad. So money was very, very tight. And I remember I needed to get milk for them. And I had no money. My credit cards were maxed. I had no money in the bank. And right behind the camera there is my closet with all my coats in it. And I was going through all my pockets to try to gather enough money to buy my kids milk. And I remember sitting down right here, where I am right now, this is the whole purpose. I'm sitting on these stairs shooting this video. This is not the best backdrop. But the reason why I just sat down here, and I'm just counting the money to try to buy milk. And I just stopped for a second, and I thought, wow, this has got to be one of the low points of my life. Sitting here counting, I don't have enough money to buy my girls milk. And I kind of just sat here for a second, kind of just feeling sorry for myself. And, I find a lot of people, you may find yourself at the bottom of your stairs thinking about that. Should I just give this up? Is this really worth it? Is everything against me? And I'm going to encourage you to do what I did, which was grab whatever money I had, went outside, I bought milk, I came up, and I climbed the stairs. And that's what you got to do. When you find yourself at the bottom of the stairs, searching for answers, you have to dust yourself off and start climbing again. This past year, I started 2 or 3 projects that I invested years in and a lot of money, which I decided it was time to abandon because it just didn't work out. And I found myself sitting here at the bottom of the stairs wondering, oh my God, I just put all this time and money in it. None of it worked out. Woe is me. What am I going to do? Should I just find something else? Should I go back to my old careers? Absolutely not. There's no turning back for me now. I see that now. I'm going to do this. So I pick myself up and I start climbing the stairs one at a time. And if I fall back down, I'm going to get up and do it again. So that's what I want you to do. Get up. Stand up. Take time to reflect if you have to. You have to go through those moments where you're experience all those emotions of feeling down. But don't wait there. Get up and start climbing those stairs again. Step by step, you'll get there. Just be motivated. And you'll see that successful people are not the ones who had the most resources, who weren't the smartest. What they were was they were tenacious and they refused to give up. So that's it. That's my kick in the pants for 2014. Don't give up. Climb your stairs and learn some new skills and build your authority in 2014. Best of luck to you. I wish you nothing but the success, all the success in the world, and I look forward to seeing all this great stuff you guys are going to do. All right? Take care. I'll see you soon.